Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Maya with Simply Bloom, and today we are talking about all things clematises. Clematises. 6 clematis. I think that's right. I'm not quite sure the grammatical correct way to say that. We have 6 different clematis that we are planting in the ground, and then I have several kind of scattered around my property I thought I would do a little tour of as well. All right, I picked these up from Menards earlier this year for an insane deal. They were $5 a piece. Typically, clematis are much more expensive, and I'm also kind of going along a theme. They're all the deep purple color, but they are all very different and all very beautiful. So we'll just start here at the end. This is the President Clematis. They are zones 4 through 11. This one gets 6 to 10 feet tall. This one blooms on old years wood, it says down at the bottom. So probably won't get any blooms this year. But make sure you know your clematis. There's 3 different groups of clematis. There's a group 1, 2, and 3. And honestly, I'm not sure which one is which entirely. I know one, not group 1, but one of the groups blooms on new wood only. So that's the clematis that you're going to prune down. I think the recommended is like 12 inches from the base. I just kind of chop it back a ways, and then that will grow completely from the ground again and bloom, that year. Another group blooms on new and old wood. So that's another type that you can prune down to the ground if you want. Sometimes it looks a little bit more neat. Don't have kind of that old growth growing with it. But if you leave it, it will bloom on the new growth and also the old growth as well. I actually really like those. Those are kind of my favorite. And then the last group, again, not necessarily group 3, but just another group in general, is one that only blooms on old wood. So you don't want to prune that down. If a deer comes and bites it later in the season, it's going to take off all your blooms for the following year. So that one's a little bit more, don't let anything happen to it. So the President blooms only on old year wood, which is fine. It's beautiful. I won't get any blooms this year, I don't think. But next year I should hopefully get some blooms. The next one is the Vegabond. This one is really pretty. I actually think I have some of these in my garden, and I'll show you one. I can't remember which one is which. I'll have to go back and look. But anyways, this one gets large 6-inch flowers in early summer and reblooms in late summer as well. And it is a little bit smaller of a vine. It only gets 4 to 6 feet tall and 18 to 24 inches wide. So if you have like a smaller spot for them, you don't want anything getting too crazy, this is a really good one as well. It's like a deep purple with a lighter, almost pink striping on the inside of the petals. And I believe, let me follow the vines. There we are. That is gorgeous. So pretty, oh my gosh. Okay, and then the last one my husband's very excited about. He's been looking for 4 years, and we found it in a couple spots, but it was just so expensive. He couldn't bring himself to buy it. So when he found them for $2, he was thrilled. It's the Jack Manny Superba. He loves this flower. And this one's a little bit more hardy, zones 3 through 9, 12 to 15 feet tall, 2 feet wide. So this is definitely a taller one. I'm going to be training this one over an arbor. And this is, let's see, it says prune hard in early spring. So this one I'm guessing is a new wood bloomer. And I can't remember if I told you about this one. The Vegabond, it just says prune mainly to shape in early spring. So I'm going to leave this one alone, I think, until I figure out what it blooms on. And where I have this one, I think it's where I planted it, I left it alone this spring too. And I'll show you where that is. We will actually just do a tour. Yeah, we'll do the tour first of my current Clematis. So like I mentioned, I don't remember the varieties, so as I'm going along, I will pop the varieties up here. But look at this incredible thing. Oh, yes, stealing the show. Hello. Hold on. Glorious. It is like, it almost matches my jacket. It's like a periwinkle blue, purpley color. Very pretty. I love the center of the flower. Absolutely beautiful. I noticed this one is very bushy this year. And I do need to train it up. It's growing up the old wood that I left. So this is a new wood bloomer and grower. But I think if I just kind of pull it up like this, that will support it better and make it look a little bit better. And then I had, okay, so how I planted this is the side of my garage here. And I mirrored it. So this clematis here is the same one as that one at the end. And that one is interesting because it's not as bushy, it's a bit more sparse, and it's not blooming yet. So I'm gonna have to double check and make sure they're the same. I'm pretty sure that I mirrored it, so that was the same. And this one's the same, but this one gets more sunlight. And then this one and this one was the same. They were the Proteus Clematis, and that one died 2 years ago, and then this one never came back. So I'm going to put the President here. The deeper purple one, and I think one that just look really pretty. We have a yellow yarrow right here, so that yellow with the deep purple I think would be really pretty. And then I do have clematis. Oh dang it, did it die? You know, I saw this growing, and I thought it was the clematis, so maybe I lost one there too. Dang. Yeah, you keep bugging me this morning. You have food, go get it. This one survived over here though. So this one is growing, and that was the same one. I have them both planted in front of daylilies for a little extra shade to their roots. That's another thing about clematis. There's a saying that says they like their feet in the shade and heads in the sun. So their roots liked protection, lots of mulch, plant other plants in front of it to kind of shade the roots. They like cool roots, but then they want their heads, so the top of the clematis, in the sun to soak up all that sunlight. Okay, now that I'm looking at this, I thought this was the Vagabond, but it's not. This is just like a plain deep purple, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It is like this deep velvety looking purple, royal purple with that striking, almost yellow center. Oh. And looks like this one blooms on new wood. Oh no, I see some coming from old wood. So this must be an old wood and new wood bloomer. I'm guessing, I can't remember what the variety is. And then we have this one. I think this is like a Niobe. I think this is the one that I thought was a President. Ignore the weed there. And turned out to be, I believe, a Niobe clematis. And then I have another one here. I think this is the Wester plate. Guys, my favorite rose here died. Miracle on the Hudson rose. I was so disappointed. But in a way, it might be okay because I didn't like the way that red rose looked with this. This is like a burgundy clematis, and the two clematises clashed. And then right here, growing up this arbor, is the Wester plate. And that's like the pretty burgundy, almost red. Ignore the weeds here. I'm a mama with young kids, so I'm doing the best I can. All right, so as long as I'm up here, did you see that bird almost ran into me? This is where we are going to be putting the Jack Manny. I have cardboard. I'm going to whack down these weeds, lay cardboard down, mulch it, and we are going to plant a Jack Manny on each side. And one that will just look so much better having the weeds taken care of. And two, that will just be beautiful having that Jack Manny right at the entrance. All right, we are going to get some clematis and get to work. I think I'm going to whack down those weeds first. All right, so starting with this Proteus, I'm gonna put the president here in its place. I'm just gonna dig it out, and then this soil, it's very bad. It's very, very sandy. I'm going to dig this out, put some compost in, and then plant the Clematis in the compost. In goes the sheep compost. And then I'm going to cover their roots up pretty good with mulch. For the Vagabond, it gets 4 to 6 feet tall. I'm thinking I'll use these. These are not my favorite. They're cheap, they're plastic, bought them off of Amazon. They're like 20 bucks, 25 bucks each. Eventually I'd like to get one of those really nice like iron trellises or obelisks for the Clematis, but in the meantime I will use this. I just realized something, that when I was showing you the Clematis varieties, I thought this was a Jack Manny bloom because it was like over by the Jack Manny's. It's not. It's the Vegabond. It's a second Vegabond bloom. But yeah, it was wrapped in with the Jack Manny's. There's no bloom on the Jack Manny, so ignore that first little bit, but it's really pretty, huh? Very pretty. Okay, let's get planting. Okay, you guys, I am done. Now, they will do a pretty good job at kind of like growing up the trellis on their own, but typically you always have to go in just a little bit and help kind of tie them to the trellis. This is what I use. I can't remember. I think it's just called garden ties. There is pretty much like a twisty tie that you find on bread. There is some that has like a foam wrapping around the wire. I would like to get that next. It just kind of helps protect the plants a little bit better. But with this, I think it still works fine. I just leave a little bit of wiggle room so it's not too tight. So I'm gonna go in. I did look back on the video that I planted these clematises up. This is called First Lady. Absolutely incredible. And this one is the same as the one on the far end of the garage. It just gets a lot more sunlight. So I'm just going to take a little bit of twisty tie. I don't know if I got enough. And I'm going to go in. I don't want to do it too tight, but I'm finding like a nice, strong, sturdy branch. I think if I would have been more on top of it, this would have been taller, because I can see it's kind of like folding in on itself. All right, and I'm just kind of loosely gonna tie it to the trellis. It's a little bit better, a little bit more supported. And then as it continues to grow, I'll try to stay a little bit more on top of it. But holy smokers, she is gorgeous. Wow. I did want to show you real fast this Wester plate, and that's a really pretty deep velvety burgundy red. Really, really pretty. So starting up here, this is not finished. Not finished at all. But until I can get some help from my husband, it's just gonna be good for now. I didn't want to just stop the cardboard right at the edge of the horse. I want to tip the horse a little bit on its side and then slide the cardboard underneath, and I want to do that all around it, because if you don't do that, no matter how close you get the cardboard, grass and weeds will still come up through the cracks. So I was able to tip the horse by myself, but I couldn't tip it and slide the cardboard under by myself. But I planted the Jack Manny on either side. There's that one there. I was able to kind of twine it up on its own. And then this point, by the way, is looking really pretty. This one over here needs some help, so why don't I fix that? There we go, looks a little bit better. All right, here we are on the back bed. This is actually, it's kind of a mess. I haven't done anything with it. I need to weed, I need to mulch. But this bed is probably one of my favorite beds on the property. You can see I have a Veronica right there growing, and there's like a big hunk of grass. I need to dig up the whole thing, separate the grass from the Veronica, and then replant it. But hopefully this week I can get it done. Here is the Vagabond. We got insane rainfall yesterday. It looks a little worse for wear. It looks a little wilty too. I'm not sure why it's looking a little wilty. And then further down along the fence, like I said, this will all hopefully be beautiful raised bed. Right now it's just kind of a wild meadow back there. Here is the other Vagabond right here. And I did, you know, kind of tie it up. Looks a little rough. Again, looks wilty. Hopefully it will pull through, but did not like that transplant. Didn't like it at all.